ourselves in the presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Father, we thank you for everyone gathered here now. Thank you that you know each of us by name and have caused us to walk with you. We say that we are dependent on you and our trust is in you completely. As we surrender ourselves in adoration, we welcome you among us today and celebrate the gift of life that you have lavished upon each of us. We ask that you would open our ears so that we may hear your voice. Open our minds so that we may receive your eternal wisdom. Open our spirits so that we may know your leading and guidance. And open our hearts so that we may receive your wonderful love. Lord, we thank you for the speakers, facilitators, hosts, and participants. We pray that you would give them great inspiration as they share with us what you have placed on their heart. We pray that you would fill them with courage and give them your peace. We ask all this in the glorious name of Jesus. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Greetings to one and all. As one of the interns from the Psychology Department of Negros Oriental State University, our distinguished guest of honor and speaker, Mr. Josh M. San Valentin, a registered psychometrician, officials of the State University headed by our dynamic president, Dr. Joel P. Limson, and respected vice presidents, Dr. Noel P. Yasi, Dr. Rosemary Pinilli, and Dr. Marvi Katada. Of course, our very supportive dean from the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Michael P. Baldado, our dedicated faculty of Psychology Department, headed by Dr. Chizan S. Lorena, parents and guardians of psychology interns, and students from different colleges, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming all of you to this amazing webinar entitled Don't Stop Until You're Proud, Juggling Between School and Work. We are assembled here to know more about a topic with many tips from the eminent speaker for today's webinar. I would also, on behalf of our college, would like to extend my gratitude towards our very own beautiful advisor, Ma'am Lisette V. Bukiran, for encouraging us to conduct a webinar like this today. I am again thankful to you, ma'am, for your kind support, suggestions, and guidance given to us. And most especially, I feel honored to welcome all of the parents and my fellow colleagues for taking a keen part in this important program. I am sure that all of you will feel enriched with knowledge after completion of this event. I welcome you all once again to this very informative webinar on how to juggle between school and work, and hope that all of you will have a great time ahead. Expect that this seminar will be productive and the next few minutes will be enjoyable and fruitful to all of you. Thank you very much.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Yanyan Corvera.
Hello everyone, I am also Jane Pinapigit. Me and Yan Yan are interns of the Department of Psychology of Negros Oriental State University Main Campus 1. And we're going to be your host for today's webinar.
Yes, and today we are presenting the main topic, which entitled Don't Stop Until You're Proud, Juggling Between School and Work. Now, just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any question, you can write them on the comment section, and we will try our best to answer them later. Okay?
Right, now without further ado, we will turn the time over to our speaker for today's webinar. Our presenter today is with 3 years experience in human resource, 2 years experience working in a psychiatric facility, currently a part-time faculty in Negros Oriental State University, and an HR assistant and head of learning and growth development in Ocean Click Virtual Solutions. And lastly, he is a financial advisor in EXA Philippines. He has a bachelor's degree in psychology and is presently taking his master's degree in psychology, major in counseling at Silliman University. He is also a member of Psychological Association of the Philippines and a licensed psychometrician with different experiences in administering psychological tests. Please help me welcome our speaking for today's webinar, Mr. Josh San Valentin.
All right, hi everyone. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Yes, hi. All right, okay. So how are you guys so far, Yan Yan and
Great.
Marcel?
We're great. We're so excited to have you here with us.
All right, that's good to hear. By the way, thank you for that wonderful introductory spiel. I just felt old suddenly. Okay, but yeah, I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. All right, so before anything else, I would like to really share my screen first. Okay, so you will really see what I've really prepared for this webinar. I am very sure that there's a reason why you chose me for this webinar, which is I really do understand, and it's my pleasure to really present something like this because I've really worked so hard for juggling a lot of things, and I really guess that our viewers right now are really wondering how are you going to juggle things up. Okay, it may not be very easy at first, but then again it becomes really your routine, not really your routine. Routinary is a understatement word, so to speak, but it's really more it becomes who you are, at least. Okay, so let me just share my screen for you guys. Okay. So, yep. So, again, our webinar for today is Don't Stop Until You're Proud Juggling School and Work. When I was 8 or 9 years old, there was, we have this clown parties, circus theme parties before. And then there will be a clown or, a personnel from the circus who will do juggling balls, right? And then he will show it to the children on how does he juggle those balls. Okay, and as you go by, you will wonder how do they maintain that balance? How do they maintain that kind of juggling technique? And so, as the days go by, as the years go by, I realized that juggling is not just really all about balls itself or juggling balls, but as you grow old, you start juggling relationships, school works, your role in your family, and of course, your work. When you are at your young age, when you are on your teen era of your life, which is the high school, they always say that high school is really the most fun or the funniest or the most self-discovering stage of your lives, right? But then again, I realized that it's not really all about the fun itself. People might not notice it, but you are already starting to juggle things up. You are juggling the feeling of discovering new things. You are juggling the feeling of being in a puppy relationship, so to speak, and of course juggling your role as a son or as a daughter to really achieve success through your high school life. Okay, so we as individuals, we have a lot of roles that we have to play. Okay, we are daughters or sons. We are an employee for a certain company. We are a boyfriend, a fiance, or a girlfriend. Okay, and so on and so forth. We might not notice it, but in every day of our lives, we are juggling things up. Okay, so that's why it's very important for us to really know what are we juggling for with. Okay, this kind of webinar, even though it's school and work, I don't really think that it's just school and work. It's just being who you want to be, who you are, and what you are capable of doing. So yeah. Now, for this introduction, okay, as you can see here, the main goal of this seminar is not just really all about understanding juggling. Okay, it's not just all about knowing what to prioritize, but it's all about balancing school, work, and family, and setting priorities and realistic goals. Now, I included family here because once you start juggling school and work, your relationships are affected as well. Okay, the way you invest time to your loved ones, the way the time you invest time to yourself are all affected from the moment you juggle it. That's really based on my experience. There will be a time that people or your friends will ask you to hang out with them, but you just can't and you wanted to. But then again, you need to set your priorities straightforward, which we'll learn more about that later on. Now, how do I define juggling? Okay, I never, put here an essay type or a paragraph type because that's very mainstream for me. Okay, and presentations like this is really supposed to be enumerated. Okay, now we define or I define juggling in five, well, just to say words. No, not really words, but five points there. Now, the first one is relationship with time. Time management is really the number one key. Okay, time management itself. The term time management may sound like it's very mainstream, it's very overused. It may sound like it's very easy to do, but trust me, time management is not that easy at all. One of the things that I do every day is to make my own calendar. Like I made sure that everything is really mostly on time. That's why Yan and Arcel, I've always asked you what time will be the webinar for today because I need to add that to my calendar as well. I made sure that everything is precise. And just to share, after this one, I still have a business meeting. So I just really need to make sure that everything is really, well placed on my calendar. You need to build relationship with your time. Okay. Time management is organizing. Relationship with time is commitment. Those two are different things. Okay, so relationship with time is very, very important. The moment you made a relationship with your time is the moment you are very committed on whatever tasks, meetings man yan, or whatsoever, along the way, you can really be committed to it. And relationship with time is also setting boundaries. If you think you cannot attend onto something or you cannot do this task, then don't. Prioritization wise, that's what you call commitment. And under commitment, there are boundaries there. And setting boundaries is building trust. You are building trust to yourself that you can really do this, and these are the only tasks you can do this day. And building trust to the people involving that certain task. Like for example, this webinar, I committed on this one because I am so sure I can do this, and I can do this with my time. That's what you call relationship with time. Okay, the next is will be self-awareness. Self-awareness is not just the typical term, you know who you are. No, it's not like that, but it's really part of knowing who you are, self-awareness. But it's also all about asking yourself multiple times. It's gauging your strengths and your weaknesses. As per Carl Rogers, your ideal self and real self, right? You have to be very congruent with your ideal self from your real self, or else there will be anxieties, frustrations, and so on and so forth. You know that, guys. I mean, for my students in psychology department, but for other viewers as well, you have to be aligned to your ideal self as well. You want to be rich within 5 years, but your real self, the process of who you are as of the moment, is not really doing anything that could achieve you being a millionaire after 5 years. Then that's gonna be frustrating all along. There will be regrets, and you know what? Regrets usually gives you the idea of lack of decision making. You become rusty and dull when you do decision making, especially when you decide your decision making or you dwell it from your past. Okay, your past is supposed to be your guiding track, not really your full grounds of doing decision making. Okay, so how do you relate that to juggling? When you do start the idea of juggling, you have to make sure that you don't regret it during the process, or else you will go back to zero again. Okay, and if you go back to 0%, then all your work will be in vain. Oh, okay, I will not do this today because I'm feeling procrastinated. I don't think so. Procrastination has really a space for someone who's doing juggling. Trust me, procrastination is really different from resting. Okay, from resting. All right. So yeah. Now change. When you do juggling, you have to be prepared for change. Again, change is the only constant in this world. I think this is just really the forever for me. Aside from having the essence of life, change is part of it. Okay, you have to be prepared to change your routine, your behavior, your vision in life, your maturity level as well. Okay, and even though you also need to sacrifice things, sacrifice in a sense that you have to compromise more of the more some things. Okay, time with your family, time with yourself, time with your friends, even time for your own hobbies and leisure times. There will be a lot of changes, and these changes are quite drastic. Trust me, it might turn upside down for others. Like, it might change them into the worst version of them, and it might also change someone to the best version of them. So it's really all up to you. How are you going to really commit with the essence of the juggling process? Okay. Now, creative solution. I realize that as you go juggling, your creative thought or your solution making thought will really be enhanced. Okay, you will find a lot of resolution to a lot of situation. One of my jobs today, which is in Ocean Click, um, I tend to do resolution making there. So if there are client problems or if there are employee problems as part of the HR personnel, I always find creative solution. Okay, that's really the motto or the goal of our department, is to really find creative solution, and not just for the department but also for the whole company. So when you belong in a certain organization that you really felt like you're growing, then you will really grow. Okay, so why creative solution? Because you handle conflict very differently this time, which I will also discuss it later. You will find conflict as a beautiful, transformative process that really changes you to the best version of you. Yeah. And for the last one, I define juggling as altruism. Altruism is really the sincere and unconditional extra milestone act on doing something towards a task. Okay, you tend to do extra milestone because you understand how hard it is to do juggling. You felt like you want to control most of the things. It's because you felt like if you cannot, then you will be disorganized. You might really need to help other people because helping other people is one of your best leisure time when you do juggling. If you want to start making difference to yourself, then you can also start making difference to other people's lives. I don't really think that being busy or being preoccupied with a lot of work is an excuse to help other people and to help them also achieve their goals. Because we as humans, it is our obligation, responsibility to really help each other. And so this is how I really define juggling. Now, these are the metaphors of juggling, by the way. Okay, so usually the rubber balls and crystal balls. When you do juggling a ball, you tend to protect the crystal balls rather than the rubber balls, right? Because rubber balls, when they drop, they will not really be shattered into pieces. But then for crystal balls, when they drop, they will be shattered into a lot of pieces. That's how you should approach juggling. Okay, you have to make sure that you prioritize what should be prioritized first. You cannot be the master. You cannot be the master of all, but you can be the master of all day by day, not simultaneously. Now, life is a marathon, not a sprint. Mostly, especially me, the reason why I do juggling as well because I felt like I'm old. Believe it or not, I'm still 26 right now, but I just felt like I am almost at the end of my life. Well, it's not anxiety, by the way. Don't have this conception that I'm having anxiety. That's why I do juggling. It's not my displacement. It's not really my tension reduction outlet. It's not. It's just really how I see life. Okay, I realized that when I was in 25, that life is a marathon, not a sprint. When I realized that it's not really the speed, but it's the accuracy. It's about fulfilling each marathon rather than sprinting on each marathon. Okay, so when I realized that, then it did a great impact to me. Um, wherein I realized that when that part happened to me, I started to really organize everything. Inani man siya, guys. Okay, when you are doing tasks that are really in haste, bitaw, rather than quality and accuracy, then you are not doing that task perfectly. The ending, it will go rebound to you. Do this task again. Do this one again. This one needs revision just because you're sprinting. But if you treat it as a marathon or you treat it as one by one, I don't really need to go first, but I just really have to finish this one. Accuracy, quality, over speed. Okay, playground. Okay, let's just say when we were young, we were quite confused and we were quite overwhelmed by the fact that when we are in the playground, we don't know which equipment first should we try, and then we become suddenly overwhelmed. And then we chose the most pleasurable one. We chose the most exciting ride in the playground. Well, this is really a metaphor about juggling. It's because it's really the opposite. We don't really need to choose the comfortable ones, but we have to choose first the challenging ones. Comfort zone is a trap. Believe me, trust me, been there, done that. That's true. When you felt like everything is just very easy, when you felt like everything is just routinary, when you felt like you're not growing anymore, then you are already in the comfort zone. And the moment you get stuck on that comfort zone is the moment you're not going to grow and develop anymore. Then you are not juggling anymore. Because when you are juggling, there is no such thing as comfort zone. There is mastery, innovation, but there is no such thing as comfort zone. Again, going back, that's what you call relationship with time. And time changes every single day. And when time changes, so are you should be changing as well. And lastly, the hourglass. If you're going to look at this one, okay, the hourglass is the sand or the granules need to pass a very very small size, funnel, should I say, or maybe a passage there, just to really go on the other side or at the bottom of it. When you do juggling, you will also need to experience some things like this in order for you to really see the bigger picture of the process of juggling, you really need to go to a very narrow tunnel. That narrow tunnel composes of anxiety, self doubt, lack of motivation, procrastination, comfort zone, so on and so forth. Anything that will hinder you from seeing the bigger picture of your juggling process. So that's it. Yeah. So that's how hourglass. And these metaphors are usually what we do, what we feel, and what we might experience during the juggling process itself. Right? Okay. So now, these are the common reasons why people do juggling, and these are just based on my colleagues and myself. Okay, these are maybe research based and statistically, surveyed type of reasons. Growth mindset first. When you say growth mindset, there are two mindsets, by the way, everyone: fixed and the growth mindset. Usually, growth mindset are the people who always seek adventure and challenge their career. They always seek the growth. They always hate comfort zone. They always hate not learning something. They are bored easily, but on the process itself, if they're not learning anymore. And that's the reason why I do juggling, because I'm really afraid to get stuck. I am really afraid of not learning anymore. I am not really a studious type of student when I was in college. In fact, I wasn't a dean's lister or an enrollment mention or a cum laude and so on and so forth. I was just a very typical college student who needs to reach at least 75 or 76 just to pass it and to reach my QPA in my majors just ready to graduate college. But then again, I realized that, not to really demotivate our viewers here, but personally, I realized that there's a growth mindset there. Not because you are not achieving high scores in your class, it doesn't mean that you don't have growth mindset. It's either maybe you're good at something else, maybe you're juggling other things as well that could really affect your academic performance. But by the way, which should not be, okay? But I was still young by that time and I was really childish, not childlike. I was really childish. I commit a lot of mistakes and a lot of immaturity, phenomenal, like a typical college student will do, and so on and so forth. So growth mindset is the strongest mindset, and this mindset is the strongest foundation for career success. Okay, I will not expound this one because it might take at least 1 hour to expound this one, but yeah, growth mindset is very important. Economical concerns: when you need extra cash, when you need extra benefit, when you need money. Basically, that's typically how other students do. That's why they juggle work, because they need money. They need to support themselves. Rapid career growth, that's also me. I felt like I'm very old. That's why I need to make sure that at the age of 30, I will be in PhD already. Okay, so on and so forth. Something really like that. Okay, there are people who felt like they are old already on their situation wherein they're not really reaching anything. Well, a piece of advice for me is that first, never compare your track to other people's track. They have their own track there, you have your own track here. So it's not about who goes first. Again, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. What matters the most is you finish the track, not who goes or who finishes first. A lot of youth nowadays are having experiencing this, are experiencing this kind of you know, situation wherein they felt like they're old and so on and so forth. Actually, guys, you're not really old. It's not just your time yet. It's not yet your time. Don't be like me. Okay. All right. And the youth mentality is the same with rapid career growth. Okay. And guilt. Sometimes people do juggling not because of commitment to the success itself, but commitment to eradicate guilt and ignorance. It's a human nature to have pride. Honestly, we all have prides. It depends on how prideful we become in situations that we are aggravated with. Okay, but there are really some people who do juggling because they felt like success is the best revenge, or maybe at some point they felt like I need to prove something to other people, Or maybe because I am guilty that I haven't achieved when I was younger, that's why I need to achieve more when I become an adult. It's a it's part of your fuel to juggle things up. But believe and trust me, it's not a very good foundation to be consistent with. Guilt, when you feel better, you will not strive anymore. But when you are committed with your time and with your passion and with your career itself, then no matter how many storms have passed in your life, then commitment is still commitment. That's very strong there. Again, it's the opposite of growth mindset. Okay, so yep, that's just the introduction. Don't worry, we will continue now with our strategies, which I guess some of you would really want to hear. Now, I define strategies as one of the goals is to really, we don't want to hear the expression manageable, but instead fulfilling. Manageable means you are just, what, kapit lang kasi walang choice. But fulfilling is, I feel happy because I'm doing juggling. Those are two different things. And I think the fulfilling there is really a very strong foundation to continue amidst the storms that would come in your life when doing juggling. So as you can see here, I divided it or I organized it into three parts, which is pre-juggling, juggling, and post-juggling. So pre-juggling means before you engage yourself in. So as you can see here, yep. Now pre-juggling is before you engage into the cycle of career growth and self-development. Now there are how many points are this? Five, right? Okay, so reinforce your personal system. Now, you have to make sure that you need to surround yourself with positive people. That's basic. When you are doing career growth or when you are doing juggling, first you have to acknowledge the fact that there will be a lot of times that you will not have time with your family members and the people you love the most. You have to accept the fact as well that you also have to let them know that you are doing this. For what reason? Not just for notification, but also to ask reinforcement and support system. Third, you need to surround yourself with the people who supports you the most. I am very happy that my family, even my friends, my colleagues in Negros, and even my partner is really supporting my juggling process. Um, Even though I don't have much time for my family or for my partner or even for my colleagues at work or my friends, I made sure that I can make time for them. Okay, a simple hi and hello in through Messenger, a simple aya saying that let's eat outside before MECQ. Okay, simple laag or travel and so on and so forth. I try to really manage that. Okay, through my calendar, of course. When you do juggling, there is no such thing as biglaang plano or instant travel. Not anymore. We always have this idea that when travels or friendly gatherings are planned, it will not really happen. But when you do juggling, it should really happen because that's your only way that you can really participate in. Okay, so reinforce your personal support system. You have to make sure that you surround yourself with good people, with people with the same mindset as yours, so that they can understand you more better. Of course, next is shuffle your priorities. Now you have to make a hierarchy or a ranking wherein you will know which one should comes first. Okay, when you do that, actually, it's really all about you can have it all, but you can't have it all at once. Okay, as what I've said, it's not a sprint, but it's a marathon. You can do all of it, but not at the same time. What I did before was before I entered Ocean Click, before I became a financial advisor in AXA, and before I did my masters, I set my timeline for that. I did not take them everything at once. So what I did is I pursue first my masters. Then after that, a few weeks or a few couple, Ma'am Ching called me for an interview, and that's it. That's another opportunity there. So I grabbed in Orso. After 2 years or 1 year, so I felt like I'm already in a comfort zone already. So I took or I take the opportunity in Ocean Click. Then after that, I felt like everything's routinary. I took the financial advisor examination, and so on and so forth. Now, the thing there is, it's not all about adding a lot of jobs, adding a lot of tasks for you not to be in the comfort zone. Don't get me wrong. It's really a matter of what do you want to do when you're bored. That's really who am I, by the way. I'm bored right now. I'm not growing, so I need to explore another thing. That's for me. But in the most generic advice, you just really have to maintain your focus on learning something new. You should know your boundaries when you get stagnant and when you are still on the process. You cannot acquire a new process when you are still on the process of building a process. Okay, the point there is you have to master something. You have to master a process first before you accept another process, and that's what I did. I took all the jobs that I have right now, not simultaneously, but through the years. Okay, so it's really all about shuffling your priorities. Now, fourth, second, sorry, that was the third, by the way. The second is lean on your professional contacts. Build connections, everyone. Build connections. Right now, connections is very easy to do. You have your social media platforms there. You have your LinkedIn, Facebook, and so on and so forth. When you build connections, your connections should be substantial and extensive. You don't build connection just because you wanna what romantically connect with someone, or maybe you just want to have a drinking buddy or a smoking buddy, or just you felt like you're bored and you want to discover strangers. When you do juggling, that's a waste of time and effort. You have to build connections that has the same growth mindset as yours. You have to make sure that you are surrounded by the people who can really not consciously support you, but supports you in a way that when they do posting, you realize that, oh, it makes sense. Oh, it's substantial. Oh, this one helps me. That's why I highly advise for people out there to try to have a account in LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a business to business type of social media platform. So you can really follow and connect with people who are doing TED Talks, people who are doing motivational talks, business related, political insights, economical feedbacks, and so on and so forth. So that's what I do. I usually check my LinkedIn when I'm in work. When I felt exhausted with my task, I just need to take a break and check on LinkedIn. So I can really, oh, this one really makes sense at all. Okay. All right. So yeah, now fourth one is take advantage of online options if possible. So if there are onlines, okay, right now, please grab it. Have this enthusiasm and initiative to really check online jobs or online schoolings, because that will really help you a lot. Okay. Now cut yourself some slack. If you're very fond of surfing, for example, and you're already preoccupied with your work and school, it doesn't mean that you have to surrender or to give up surfing. Put it in your cabinet. And when you have leisure time, get it from the cabinet. That's it. It's not necessary for you to give up your passion. It's not necessary for you to give up your hobbies when you do juggling. It's just a matter of compartmentalization, compartmentalizing. Put it in the cabinet of your thoughts. I will get back to you surfing when I'm done with my work, when I'm tired. I always do believe that um, having or doing a lot of tasks simultaneously is not even effective at all. It's not success there. It's cramming, and it's disorganization. Okay, it's not really about being productive. No, it's not. It's cramming there, and because you're cramming, you're not organizing your task because you're doing them simultaneously. So you really have to give yourself some break. Okay, now for the next one is the juggling process now. Okay, so remember why you started. Okay, this is really my mantra. When I really feel exhausted and tired from all the works, I always ask myself in the mirror, Nganong gibuhat na ako ni oy. It might sound regretful. No, it's not. It's not. It's just comprehension check. Next is simplify where you can. So simplification is just really all about your boundaries. By the way, this is already juggling. Okay, this is already the coping process. You are already in the process of coping up, or you are already in the process of juggling. Okay, so having these things here is a coping process when you do juggling. So simplify where you can. For example, what are the things that you can do right now that you should not do tomorrow? Is my energy enough for today's task? Is this task will consume my energy? And if this task consumes my energy, what about the other task that doesn't consume much of my energy? You have to make sure that you compartmentalize everything. Okay, so take care of yourself. Now, this is very important. No matter how strong your willpower is, once your physical health is already drained, then you have to really rest. Um, our mindset is very, very strong. And I'm so sure our psychology peeps here and folks here are also fully aware that our mindset is very, very strong. But our body sometimes doesn't really cooperate with our mindset. Remember that. Your willpower is very strong, but your body is already trained. So take care of yourself, rest, power nap. Piece of advice, when I do night shifts, by the way, I usually drink coffee and then sleep and take a nap for 30 minutes or 15 minutes. Drinking coffee before taking a nap is really effective. Caffeine usually takes effect after 30 minutes of consuming coffee. Okay, so you have to make sure that when you drink coffee, you sleep and take a nap. Trust me and believe me, when you wake up, you felt like you were just reborn from from being dead. Okay, because it really felt energized. You will really feel you are energized, and you felt like you sleep 8 hours, but you just sleep or slept 30 minutes or 15 minutes just because of the caffeine. Because when you sleep, your body will store energy. Your body will store sugar. Okay, and that will really bump your energy up when you sleep. So take that advice. Okay, so set aside study time, of course. Since you're juggling, you have to make sure that you have time for studying. Okay, time for studying. What I usually do when I do study is that after I woke up, despite of whatever time it is, when I woke up, I have to study because that's the freshest, freshiest time for my brain. Okay, be organized. I usually use my calendar, project management tools. Like for example, I usually organized my task in a project management tool, and then I organize my timeline through my Google Calendar. Okay, there will be a notification 30 minutes before the task, so I can really make sure that, oh, I'm almost done. I should be almost done with this task because another task will come again. Um, it's really effective, by the way. It's really, really effective. If you can really see my calendar right now, it's really it's really, really full with different colors of Google Calendar because of different sectors of job. One from Norsu, one from the AXA, one from Ocean Click, and three from my businesses. Okay, so that's really something that you should really also consider your calendar. Take advantage of support groups. Okay, join groups in Facebook that could really help you with your job, by the way. Okay, since I am planning to do a laundry business, so I'll join laundry business related groups in Facebook that will also help you. Okay, so celebrate milestones. Okay, I deserve this. I bought this Mac laptop because I deserve this. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. 100% you deserve that. I need to go on a vacay because whatsoever because I deserve this. Yes, you do deserve that. I need to drink tonight because whatsoever. Yes, you deserve that. Yes, we all deserve that when we do juggling. Okay, and of course, don't isolate yourself. Not because you're very busy, and not because you are sacrificing time to your relationships. It doesn't mean that you have to isolate yourself. Okay, you can still do your job or your work with your colleagues and with the people who can really help you. That's not isolating there. And that is still effective and productive because you are doing your job with the people um who has the same avenue of what you're doing as well. So it's also a support group system there. Okay. So yep, these are usually what I also do most of the time. Okay, so it's really quite effective, by the way. Okay, so now post juggling, what if you mastered the art of juggling now? Now we always talk about the out of the comfort zone, right? The out of the comfort zone. So what you can really do is recalibrate your task, recalibrate if needed. When you say recalibrate, reflect, rethink, repurpose, and reuse your fuel to really achieve something else now. You've mastered all the process. I've mastered Ocean Click. I've mastered Norsu. I've mastered my masters, I think. I'm not so sure. Okay. But I mastered whatsoever. Now it's time for me to improve. What else can I really add to myself? What things that I should improve nowadays in this era? I need to really be connected with the virtual and technical side. When I started working in Ocean Click, my knowledge, honestly, okay, my knowledge about technicalities and virtual related stuff is just 10%. And after I worked there for how many months already, I just realized that I'm reaching 90% already. I'm almost at my mastery. Okay, so that's why it's very important for you to really recalibrate yourself when you master the art of juggling. Check milestones. What have you achieved for the past months? Months are very too much. Weeks dapat. What have you achieved so far for the past weeks? Recalibrate, rethink. Ah, so I'm good at this. Oh, this is something that I'm not really good, so I need to work on this one. These are my boundaries last week. I almost get my energy is very drained on this task last week. So I need to make a contingency plan for this task for my energy not to be consumed that much. Recalibrate every week. Check your milestones. Okay, so that's why. Now, discover more techniques and approach. Of course, it also goes back on checking your milestones. If you know that you're not good at something like this and you should be, then you should really check more techniques and approach on that. Mirror talk. Don't get me wrong, mirror talk is not a form of schizophrenia. Okay, it's not delusion there or hallucination. Mirror talk is just really self-check. Okay, have you even looked at yourself at the mirror after mastering the art of juggling, and have you asked yourself, how did I achieve those? Even I, most of the time, I don't really look at the mirror, but before I sleep, I usually think of, before I cannot afford this one, but now I can afford eating outside already. I can afford a 500 worth of meal. I can afford sangyupsal for three people at the same time. But when I was in college, I can't even afford McDonald's. That's true. That's really true. Trust me, believe me. I can't really afford McDonald's because if I do buy food from McDonald's, then I will never have my allowance for the rest of the day. And right now, not really to brag this up, but I'm just really proud of myself, by the way, that I can really buy a bucket of Jollibee once a week. That's how you check your milestones there. That's how you try to recalibrate yourself. Who are you before you start juggling? And who are you right now after you master some juggling? It's really about the progress. It becomes bragging to other people who doesn't have the same mindset as yours. Trust me, if you tell this to other people and they don't have the same mindset as yours, they will tell you, you're boastful, you're arrogant, you're bragging again. That's why you need a very good support system during juggling, because they will only be the people who will appreciate and support you and say, tap on the back, wow, you did a good job. And we all need that, not just from our boss, from employers, but also from our colleagues, and especially from the people we love, my partner, my family, and so on and so forth. Okay, all right. So now, again, acknowledge change. Again, change is forever. During juggling, you will have a lot of moments that when you need to compromise things, be flexible. Usog na po. Change again. That's why you have to, again, it goes back to recalibration. It goes back to check your milestones. And it goes back to discover more techniques and approach. Okay, and of course, last one, have an extensive contingency plan. What is your plan B and plan C, by the way? If plan A did not work, then you should think of plan B and plan C. What are your plans when you go down again? What are your pull ups? What are the things that could really bring you up when you go down again? That's your contingency plans. Okay, I cannot really give you the exact plan because it is subjective to your own coping mechanism. It is subjective to your juggling process. It is subjective on how committed are you to your career, to your growth and development, to your time. Okay, so yeah. Now, those are the strategies again for our viewers here and for my psych friends and students. It's all really up to you. How are you going to apply these strategies? And of course, I'm not saying that these are the only strategies that we can offer. Again, this most of these are really from my experience. So if you have also, it's really all up to you. But again, the basic rule of strategy is balance. That's really the main goal of setting strategy. Balancing. Balance, balance, balance. All right. Now, why is it very important for us to really balance? Because you have to see the worth of your cycle. You have to see the worth of what you are doing right now. Is it really worth it at some point? Are you getting to somewhere? Are you really growing? Or maybe you just felt growing because you're busy. Those are different things. That's why you have to always check your label. Well, of course, checking label is very important, right, Yan? Okay, all right. So that's correct. Yeah. Now, end of the line here. Now, the end of the line of those strategies are always balanced. That's what I've said. So we need balance because an increase in efficiency and productivity. The more you balance things, the more you can devote more time, cognitive process to a certain task or to a certain sector of your own juggling process. Again, accuracy and quality over speed. Okay. Um, Now, a refreshing and beneficial boost in your personal relationships with your spouse, children, friends, and family. Of course, if you find balance, you can also find time for them, basically. Okay. Um, I always have this, I don't know, before MECQ, I always have this mantra with my partner that whenever it's Monday, we will try our best to really travel in just maybe half day or one day, because I have to make sure that I could also devote time for him as well, because that's his day off, that's his rest day, and it's my night shift. So technically, Monday 10 p.m. that will be my work time. So I still have the whole morning of Monday to really spend time with him. On Saturdays, I and my partner sleep in my family's house in Sibulan, with my family to also spend time with him. So it's all about balancing so you can spend more time with the people that matter the most for you. Okay, so next is far more time to spend on self improvement. Of course, reflection is the key there, self evaluation. But again, the root cause there is the acknowledgement, acceptance, and change. Without acknowledging, without acceptance of the needs for change, then you will never self improve. Okay, so acknowledge first, what are the things that I should change? This one. Accept, yes, I need to change this one. Then, boom, go to the process of changing. Then, self improve. Okay, next is a noticeable improvement in your mental health. That's true. When you balance things, you become organized. You know when to stop, you know your boundaries, and you know your limits. You know what you can do today, you know what is feasible to do today, you know a task that should be finished today and should not be finished today, that can be finished tomorrow, and so on and so forth. That's going to be both on working and both on school. So that's why calendar is the key. Okay, one of the keys there. All right. So again, everyone, the main purpose of strategies is again the balance. It's really the balance. Now, what is your end goal so far? Okay. Now, the end goal here is to really see the transformative beauty of balance. Okay, so it's all about validating the effects of balance between work and school. So this is really the end goal here. I did not say it's success here yet because success depends on your commitment and depends on the person. But I use this term to generally address everyone that who are also juggling and who plans to juggle. So your end of line is not just really all about achieving success, but achieving the transformative beauty of balance. Okay, so now let's go to the success. These are the things that these are the success indicators, by the way. Development, you really change, by the way. Maturity, wow, you handle things differently right now. Self awareness, I think I know myself better than anyone else. I can do this and I can't do that. Resiliency, I'm really okay. I can do this. I'm really okay. I'm doing this for a very heavy and deep reason. Altruism. Maybe I should help someone because I know how it feels to juggle things up without reservation, unconditionally. Intrinsic stability, peace of mind, self efficacy, self effectiveness, self appreciation. I love myself. Thank you for myself for believing to me. Thank you for myself for not giving up. Thank you for myself for not letting other people ruin my routine. Thank you for myself for really choosing the right career path. Thank you for myself. And I thank myself for that. Extrinsic rewards, extra cash, extra knowledge, extra friends, and extra benefits. These are your success parameters. Okay. And so far, one, two, three, I'm almost achieving these things. Okay. I just need more of this, I guess. Yeah, but I'm already achieving this one. The development maturity is already there. Self-awareness, resiliency, altruism, intrinsic stability, quite some time. Intrinsic rewards, not yet. Okay, not yet. All right. Now, one of the end line as well is to be a specialist of your career. Okay, so being specialist composes of mastery, innovation, and independency. Mastery is really knowing what you're doing. Innovation is looking for an avenue for you to really innovate and up your game. Independency is really having this strong will and commitment to what you are doing. Okay, so that's why developing an advanced set of skills and knowledge can help you stand out as an expert in your space and let you see where your career is headed in the future. Okay, now the last one is silver lining. Oh, it sounds like Catriona Gray. But yeah, silver lining is all about looking conflict differently. One of the key success indicators right now is really to see situations in silver lining. You can really see conflict in the most different manner, by the way. Trust me, that's really true. Okay, when you become matured, when you are very strong to your self-awareness, when you know how you are being developed, then you recognize conflict in a very different manner. So this is the process of seeing conflict in the most beautiful way. So recognizing what conflict is really about, recognizing when you get stuck, and start learning to speak responsibly. So these are the end games or end goals for juggling. Juggling is not all about achieving success. Okay, the purpose and the end game of juggling is balance, balance, balance. And the end goal that I talked earlier is really all about balancing. You need to make sure that you set your success parameters. What are your success indicators? You have to do that. Because if not, then you are traveling in a sea without navigation. You don't know where to stop and you don't know where to stay. And I think that's it. Yes. I do hope that our viewers really learn something from this. Again, the strategies, the end goal are really all up to you. Okay, so it's all about subjectivity. But again, these are just my ways on how I juggle things up. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Sir Josh, for that very informative presentation. I guess
Sure.
that I have to digest everything because it's so very important, and I also one of those listener also or viewers that really juggle when it terms of work and school. So,
I
all
agree.
right, okay, Yan Yan, you do you want to add?
Yeah, actually, this is one thing that I was very excited about having you, Sir Josh, as our speaker for today. Um, it's about knowing your ways of dealing work and school at the same time, and all those advice that you'll be sharing with us and the viewers also. Because just like you, Arcel and I have been juggling school and work and life as well for years now, and we had our hard times, our impossible times, like looking like a zombie and still trying to get through our days in school. And those crazy times, but still worth it, right, Arcel? And
Right, Yan Yan,
so I would,
and
I
also
would,
go ahead.
yeah. So I just would like to say that everything was so relatable, especially that part about coffee being your best friend when you have so much to do. I could really relate that
Coffee
as
is
well as
life.
say
Coffee is
coffee is
life. Yeah.
life. And I have learned a lot from the things that you shared. So thank you so much, Sir Josh, for that.
Very
And
much welcome,
also,
guys. Yeah.
okay. I also love about you said you define juggling as to have a relationship with your time because if time will also change, so am I. So I should change also. So this presentation is a very informative talaga. And I hope all the viewers will learn and digest everything because parang gusto ko talaga ipin lahat sa mind ko since every word is
Yes.
very informative time. So, Sir Josh, once again, thank you so much. And
And
we will go ahead and take acknowledge sometime for questions now.
yes. All right, Sir Josh, I have a question here from our viewer, Jim. He asked, what to do when you feel overwhelmed with work and disregard your studies?
What to do? Okay. I guess I'm going to answer that personally. Okay, because again, it's subjective. But what I do when I'm overwhelmed is really just to stop first. There's no harm in stopping for like 15 minutes or 10 minutes. You have to reevaluate again. When you, for example, um, when you are in a state of panic, what is the usual concern of the medical practitioners? Stay calm, ma'am, sir, don't panic. Because when you are being overwhelmed, just like being panicked, okay, you are being stormed out in your cognitive side that you need to do a lot of things. You are just being presented a huge amount of task. So the first process that is really just really to stop, rest. 15 to 30 minutes, I guess. It depends to the person. But I do that sometimes when I am already at the peak of being burnt out and stressed and whatsoever. I just really need to stop and reevaluate. Um, After you stop, revaluation process takes turn. What shall I do first again? Sorry. Or what should be the first task that I should be doing and should be done at the moment? So it's really all about the hierarchy, the prioritization. That's why are very important. Relationship with time is very important because you cannot avoid being overwhelmed. By the way, there is no way for you not to be overwhelmed. A lot of times you will really be overwhelmed by a lot of tasks or a lot of things. But all you can do is just really to find and to make sure to have your hierarchy. What shall be done first? What is the easiest one? What is the hardest one? What is for long term? What is for short term? So you have to make sure that you evaluate yourself. And that's why when you master, remember the post juggling strategies, you have to always recalibrate. Contingency planning. Bitosa, if I will be overwhelmed, what is my plan B? What is my coping mechanism? Do I need to eat in an unlimited shrimp for like 2 hours for me to decide? That's time consuming and that's financially consuming. So you need to find contingency planning for yourself. Okay. Well, you don't disregard studies when you are overwhelmed by work because that's not balancing anymore. Okay, that's one-sided prioritizing. Now, when you do prioritization, it's not just all about work. Remember, you're juggling, and we are trying to achieve balance here. So you have to do prioritization in work at the same time as school. Kasi domino effect man na siya. There will be a chain reaction effect. If you prioritize things in work and you're not prioritizing your study, then you are not balancing at all. You are compromising something else. So even though you are overwhelmed only, okay, for example, even though you're overwhelmed only in work, but you are not overwhelmed in study, it doesn't mean that you don't do hierarchy or prioritization in your study. Because again, if you do prioritization in something that is overwhelming and you are compromising something that is not overwhelming, then that's not balance anymore. There will be a domino effect. You are only checking the gauge of time management on the work, but not the possible bounce back on that time management to your studies as well. Because again, that's chain reaction, that's domino effect. So stop, rest, think, rethink, recalibrate, plan B, then do it again. That's it.
Right, sir. Well, I admit there were times that I really lost my balance, and the consequences is not really, it's not really great. Right.
Well,
So,
honestly, we really need to know the consequences.
mhm,
It's better to live in regrets rather than what ifs.
true.
True. How would you know your true potential if you haven't tried it? At least if you tried it and doesn't work, then you will know that it's not really for you.
Absolutely.
Rather than live your life saying, "Now, what if I try this one? Maybe this is really for me." Or I did not because I hesitated. Again, that's gonna be what ifs for the rest of your life. So try, make mistakes, make mistakes, make mistakes, and develop self awareness. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Sir Josh. There's more questions, Arcel?
Oh, okay. I have here a question from Theo. His question is balancing work and school is stressful. So what do we do to make sure stress will not occur or possibly lessen it during the time of balancing both work life and school life?
Well, I totally agree with the reinstatement that rather decrease the stress or lessen the stress because stress will never. Stress is our friend. That's why coffee is our best friend. That's true. Okay. So, stress is always there. So the question is, how would you lessen the stress, right? You lessen the stress by really first deep cutting your purpose of doing juggling. It goes back to really asking yourself, why are you doing this in the first place? What is your end goal here? What are you trying to achieve? In other situation, sino bang binubuhay mo? That's the heaviest one, I guess. When you are working with someone else, for someone else. Um, basically, I admit I wasn't supposed to share this one because he is here, but honestly, one of the reasons why I'm working a lot of jobs is because for us to have a better future. And that's one of my strongest foundation to really work a lot because I want to have a relationship with my partner in a very financially freedom state where we can eat everywhere without thinking if we have something to use for the next days. And I think that's financial freedom there. That's not made that you don't need to be rich to be financially free for me. Because as long as you know how to budget and at some point you know your limits, then you can really freely spend money. Okay, and I think that's really something that's one of the things that makes me continue working a lot to really think ahead in the future, to really give life to the people I love, the life they deserve, and to give myself the life that I deserve as well. Okay, so it's really a matter of really commitment. It's also a matter of really knowing your own track. That's why. But again, stress is your friend there. I mean, stress is just waving at you anywhere you go in a task. Like I'm just here. If you need me, you don't have a choice, but you will also need me. Because stress is not a choice. It's your automatic response into something that you are not really, you're tired na ba? Yan na ba? So yeah. Mm-mm.
It really goes back to balancing school and work.
Yep. True. True.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, do you
Um,
have some questions to add from the
yeah,
viewers?
yeah, there's another question from Jesse. Students ask me or ask Jesse for advice on how to deal with work-life balance during a lockdown. So it's very relatable. Some of them work and study from home. Do you have any helpful suggestions?
Well, what I can say is that they need to distinguish the time for work, the time for study, and the time for home. The usual phenomenon nowadays is that the reason why people are highly anxious of working from home is because they cannot distinguish work and home anymore. When you work in an office, it's work in the office because you're in the office. But when you got home, it's home and there's no work at home because you're at home. But when you are working at home, at some point you forgot to distinguish that, wait, this is also my home, right? And why am I working here? Oh, well, I work here because I have to work. So that's really a matter of really distinguishing it. You have to set your time limits. If you think that it's really for work time, then focus on work time. Do not do anything that is related to household. So that wala siya collision bitaw. Don't cook while working. Don't don't do household while working because work is work and that's the only time that you will work. After work, then you do household because that's already your home time. That's already your house time. Okay, so that's why it's very important for you to really distinguish everything up. Okay, now it also depends on him or on that person. Um, you know what? There are people who ask those questions not because they don't know what to do. They want validation on their own process and coping mechanism. That's why I always do believe that people or humans have this innate way of doing defense mechanism, innate way of coping things up, even though they ask those questions. Because I do believe that they have the procedure on their own, but at some point they need validation from someone that, oh, I guess I'm doing the right thing. Oh, I'm on the right track. Mm-mm. So that's not something that we should devalidate. Even though it sounds like there are people manggod na mingon sila bito nga para yan lang mangutana pa ka. No, it's not like that. It's not a simple question. It's validation there at some point. Okay, so we don't devalidate those kind of questions. So for that question, um, well, it's really all up to you how we're going to do that. Proceed if you think that's effective, but do not proceed if you think that's dangerous for your health. It sounds like smoking. Yeah. Anyways, so something like that. Yeah, but it's really all up to you. It's subjective, by the way. Yeah. So for me, that's what I did before when I got locked down. So I distinguish everything. I work out. I eat, but I don't sleep deprive because sleep adds anxiety and anxiousness. A sleep deprivation, pala. Yeah. All right.
All right, thank you, Sir Josh. Let's ask one more question, Arcel, from the audience.
Um, it looks like we've covered all of our questions.
Oh, there's no.
Sir Josh, yes, yes. Sir Josh, is there anything else you wanted to cover before I wrap up?
Me? Sorry. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking to
Yes,
Yan Yan. Oh well,
hello, sir.
not that much. I just want to say that in today's time, if you are for those people who are doing juggling, all I can really say is that I'm really proud of all of you. I'm proud of all of us who's doing that. For Yan Yan and Arcel as well, because they're also juggling. It's not a an easy masterpiece, but it's a very strong stronghold for all of us to be doing such thing. We are doing this for our family. We're doing this for our loved ones. We're doing this for ourselves, and we're doing this for our future, a future of uncertainty. So it's very brave there. Okay. Again, the core values there is balance. Never forget yourself and cut some slack. Okay. Never bury your hobbies or passion. Just put them in a cabinet. Get back to them if you are already on the post juggling strategy there. If you can really recalibrate yourself and master everything up. Right. Okay. So I think that's it. Again, thank you, Arcel and Yanyan, for inviting me here. I'm very happy that I could share myself, at least maybe 10% of myself. No, 30% of myself today. Pretty much people here will know where I'm working and what I do in my life. So basically, that's it. I work. My life is working and studying.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Sir Josh. Well, it's really an honor to be here with you
Yes.
and for to have you here with us and share to be able to experience and just get all those advice from you from an expert in juggling work and life and
Wow,
studying.
expert.
I would
Okay. All
say
right.
expert.
I
Okay, all right. If you need help with something or have any questions, just contact or find or follow Sir Josh's Facebook account, Sebastian San Valentin, or email him at sebastianwasker18@gmail.com.
Okay. And again, thank you, Sir Josh, and thank you for everyone for attending today's webinar entitled Don't Stop Until You're Proud, Juggling Between School and Work. Now, we have a link for you guys, the audience, to check. It's a survey on the presentation, and we would appreciate if you'd complete that and also provide your feedback. The link for the survey can be seen in the section. Don't forget to click the link, okay? And also, we'll be giving free e-certificates for those who attended this webinar. All right.
That's nice. Very good.
Okay. Thank you.
And now let's have Marianne for our closing remarks. Marianne?
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to use this opportunity to thank the following people. I would like to thank to our amazing guest speaker, Mr. Josh San Valentin. Thank you, sir, for the time and for sharing your knowledge to us. To our active participants, thank you guys for making time to watch the video until the end. We are hoping that you gain knowledge through this program. To our very supportive advisor, thank you, Ma'am Lisette Bukiran. Lastly, to my hardworking group mates who make the effort to this program to be possible. Thank you, guys. Allow me to finish this program by a quote saying, "Strength, health come only through continuous effort and struggle." Once again, good afternoon and enjoy the rest of the day.
So, on behalf of our other psychology interns and our speaker, Sir Josh Valentin, I would like to thank you for joining us today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much
Bye.
for listening.